Welcome, everybody. Got a special show today. Pretty psyched about it. Get to talk about one of my all-time favorite bands, easily for me, The Accused, since, I was 15 years old. Uh, Always enjoy talking to The Accused. Always get psyched up whenever, I find other people that are massive Accused fans as myself. And that's what I got today. Joining me today is Jason Beck from Dead Time Radio. Jason's been playing hardcore punk and metal on the radio since like 89, 90 or something like that. And he always used to play The Accused since way back when on his radio show in Houston. And then my buddy Ray Rivera, who we've been friends since we were middle school. We both went to our first Accused show together when he turned 16 years old. So we've been massive Accused fans since, like I said, we were kids. And then honored to have Blaine Cook with us, the legendary Blaine of the Accused. So appreciate, I know you don't like it, but I'm going to say it. So anyway, hey, appreciate you guys joining me. How's everybody doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
Not too bad. I'm there.
Legendary of Zippy's Burgers.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, there you go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over some of our favorite songs. Maybe talk a little bit about each of them and have get Blaine's perspective on that. So we'll go ahead and start with Jason. If you want to go ahead and get started.
All right. Very first Accused thing I ever bought was More Fun Than an Open Casket Funeral back in the mid 80s. I bought it on cassette because back then I was like 15 years old, and I think I was 14, and of course didn't have a lot of money. So cassettes were cheaper than records, and there were no CDs back then. Cassettes were cheaper than records, so I would just go to the record store and I would buy either whatever 7-inch had more than 4 songs on it that looked cool, or cassettes that were on certain record labels that looked cool. And I got burned a few times. I remember buying Halloween and getting it home being like, oh, this band's called Halloween and this isn't good, Blind Illusion is like Larry Lalonde's new band after Possessed. I got it home. Oh, this is not very good either. But The Accused did not disappoint me, man. I got that cassette home. I put it in. It blew my mind. So I was like, this is hard-edged thrash hardcore punk with horror lyrics. When you're 14 years old, you like punk, but that stuff about Beirut and the Falkland Islands, all that kind of goes over your head. It's cool whenever they're talking shit about the president. You're like, yeah, fuck the president. You don't even care who the president is, but fuck him. But all that other stuff, you don't get it. But horror movies, I loved horror movies. So I put it was this album.
Hell yeah.
But it was on cassette, and I guess my favorite songs off of this album would be We Can All Live Together, Rape, Not a Love Story, of course, and Scotty. And I had to kick Halo of Flies and Splatter Rock off the list because we can only have 10. And of course, Devil Woman, such a great song that is, but I kicked all the cover songs off. And this cover by S. Clay Wilson, he just passed away a couple months ago. Great guy.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
I actually have pulled my Checkered Demon comic book out because I just want to ask you, how did you get him to do this cover?
Well, what you'd do is he used to hang out at a bar down in San Francisco, and you'd just send a letter to him at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, back when people used to write letters, Yeah, that's pretty much just what we did, and we just sent him a letter down there, and he agreed to do it. He wasn't cheap. I mean, I think we paid. He did that. He did the album cover, and then he did a little black and white ad as well. And I think back then we paid like $2,000 for it. And
wow.
And honestly, the cover that he came up with, that he did, I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's not what we wanted him to do. It wasn't, because if you're familiar with the stuff, I mean, some of his other
Zap
stuff,
comics and all that,
yeah, it's pretty. Some of the stuff is pretty sick, and we were really looking for something that was really, really sick, and we didn't get anything really sick. He gave us what he gave us.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
around that same time as I bought that tape, you remember I said I bought all these 7-inches back then. I bought this 7-inch,
Yeah.
which I did not know it was some of the same people, but I love this 7-inch. There was a song on here, Campaign Speech, that I really loved.
Yeah.
Which they came out with this CD that they
Yeah.
redid a bunch of the songs off the 7-inch. They did not redo Campaign Speech though on the
No.
CD. But I just wanted to put that as an honorable mention. Campaign Speech is one of my favorites too.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, farts. I mean, come on, classic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm toying with the idea of playing the whole damn World Full of Hate 12-inch on my radio show this week, just for the hell of it, just because, you know what? Play the whole damn thing.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
All right.
so why don't one of you guys give a turn and then come back to me in a minute? I gave my ones off of More Fun. Maybe you guys want to give your ones off More Fun or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. All right, Ray. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, my introduction to The Accused was early. I must have been about 14 years old, and I used to steal a lot of tapes at the mall. And you come across this album, you had to have it. So I stole it. Every fucking song on this rips ass. My favorite one is Martha's Revenge, though. That riff in the beginning fucking kills, man.
Yep.
The best
Yeah, I
line
think that was our take on trying to do an epic kind of a metal song right there.
That was a
Yeah.
long ass song for that.
Yeah, longest song we've ever done.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like it's not a boring, almost
no.
5-minute long song. It's just crunchy riffs that just. I mean, it's classic. I think that's on my list.
And the,
So-
and the chorus as well. You know, I like the chorus too. I mean, it just flows very well and heavy. It's fucking, I mean, for the time, I guess, and the distortion you guys had, but it's a fucking heavy track.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
what was I going to say? Did you get one of these, Blaine?
Oh yeah, that was Paul Holstein. He used to do Transparent Records.
Well,
Yeah, put that out.
one of my old bands covered Buried Alive on this. So
Yeah,
it
it's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of great cover songs on there.
oh yeah. I mean the sound quality kind of goes up and down here and there, but it's a good compilation. I'd tell you
Yeah.
that.
Awesome. Well, with me, actually, Ray's the one that introduced me to The Accused, probably about the same time, 89, 90. I just remember borrowing a tape. I mean, I couldn't afford many tapes, but I would borrow a tape and just walk around town. I live in a small town, grew up. I just walk around with an Accused tape in my Walkman, just walk from my house to Ray's house and back and forth, and it just never left my tape deck. And I just got hooked, instantly. Way back then, when we were like 14, 15 years old, and just been a total splatterhead freak ever since then. But my first song, I guess, if we're gonna do I could have 60 songs, man, but I whittled it down to like 10, and my number 10 song is off. Let me take it out of the sleeve. It's off this album, which is, I mean, talk about the artwork. This is just ridiculous. I mean,
That's my favorite album from them.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that's probably my favorite as well.
yeah, and the first track, Psychomania. I mean, it's like a perfect way to start an album. That song is just amazing. And then that little bass break, like towards the end, I was like, oh man, it's ridiculous. And then when that part comes in, it's like, it's kind of mellow. And then next thing you hear is Blaine going, it's like, hell yeah, man. So, but yeah, the opening track is I mean, I love, actually my all-time favorite song is off this album, but I'll get to it later. Number 9, I don't know if anybody else picked it, but maybe not. It's one of my favorite songs. It's on here. And you guys, like, album covers were just always insane. always insane. But the song "Brutality and Corruption," I always love that song. I know it's on that 7-inch, which I got here too. The one with Morpheus, right?
Yeah, the split with
Yeah,
Morpheus.
that song, that little breakdown on this song. But I always love that song. One of those kind of deep cuts, if you will, of The Accused, which totally kicks ass. So, yeah, Brutality and Corruption. I mean, man, oh man, awesome. So, I guess Blaine, I don't know if you want to talk about any songs or you want to comment on anything we've talked about so far. But yeah, anything you say, we'd surely appreciate.
I think you guys have said it. I don't know what else what I could add. Yeah, somebody was just talking about Brutality and Corruption a couple of days ago, and we wrote that song. We had when we let Dana go from the band, which probably in retrospect, probably, we weren't really very nice to him, and it probably wasn't a very good thing for us to do at that point in time. But his drumming style was kind of moving away from what we were doing, and we got this young kid, Nick the Hammer Utek, to play drums with us because we had this European tour planned. So we brought Nick on to be our new drummer, and that was kind of that riff from Brutality and Corruption was from a band loosely based on something from a band that he was in at that point in time. Called I think they were called Wasted Scum, so that's where Brutality and Corruption, and that was Brutality and Corruption, and a couple of those songs. They were like this 4-song demo that we did after we got dropped from Combat, that we were shopping around trying to find another label at that point in time.
Awesome. That's cool. I know that.
Instead of we didn't get a big label, but we did that split single with Morpheus on Empty Records, and then we did that Hymns for the Deranged 12-inch on Empty Records as well.
Empty put out a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they did back then. Yeah. I think he still puts stuff out now.
While you're mentioning that, this is the version of the split of Morpheus I have, which they claim the band members hand colored these. Did you color this? You kind of colored outside the lines.
If it wasn't me, it was somebody else that was at my house that afternoon. But we hand colored. Yeah, we hand colored a bunch of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A bunch of them we put, Elmer's glue and glitter. Because you guys talk about how when you were younger about how you didn't have much money. I like you're talking about political lyrics and stuff. Back then, I didn't understand. I still don't understand economics and all that stuff. But what I do know is back then, stuff was more expensive. Stuff was harder to find. And if you were a young guy, I mean, you didn't have a lot of money. Kids didn't have credit cards back then. You weren't able to, color copies were really, really expensive. So that was, I don't know, that was something we did. We did that, we colored those record covers. We used to hand color flyers. It's a good thing to do if you're smoking a little marijuana. You're sitting around listening to some records.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome, thank you, Jason. I guess we'll go back to you.
All right. Well, we hit on this one pretty well. I'm gonna briefly say my favorite songs off of it are "Wrong Side of the Grave," "Autopsy," and of course "Fucking for Bucks," classic there. What else do I got here in my bag? Mentioned this one already. We'll say "Psychomania," "Inherit the Earth," "Starved to Death," and "War Equals Death." Love those songs. This album unbelievably has 4 cover songs, and they're all great on it.
Yeah.
And the maddest story ever told. How great was that? Did you sing that song? Did you do the cover? Sing on this?
Yeah.
Boris Karloff sang the original. So that's even more fantastic. That's the theme from the movie Spider Baby, for anybody that doesn't know. Great movie.
Yeah.
And of course I love to Change the World. I love what you did with that too. But it says Sir Mix-a-Lot did vocals on this. What did he do vocals on?
So that record was produced by a guy by the name of Terry Date.
Oh yeah.
And Terry Date went on to be, I don't know, I think he did like Pantera and I mean, he's moved on to being a real bigwig, and he was a pretty well-known producer, I guess, in Seattle at the time. So he had done some work with Sir Mix-a-Lot. So he called Sir Mix-a-Lot down, and he did some of the backups on the Maddest Stories Ever Told. And then he also knew Kurt Vanderhoof, aka Blabo, who was the guitar player for Metal Church.
Mm-hmm.
And he played the lead on I'd Love to Change the World.
They did an awful cover of a Black Sabbath song. I remember that together.
Yeah, the funny thing about that, I'd Love to Change the World, that little thing with the little girl singing at the beginning of the song.
Oh yeah,
that was taken from a cassette. A girlfriend of mine at that point in time had this cassette of her singing that song when she was like 4 or 5 years old.
Cool.
So we took that little soundbite and put it on the record. And her mother was like one of these ultra religious people, and if she would have known.
That's classic intro.
Yeah,
that's such a great album.
I agree.
And then right around that time somewhere, I saw you guys on tour with these dudes.
Yeah, Brotherhood. And of course, Greg Anderson was also in False Liberty. Yes.
And now he started running Southern Lord Records, and in kind of a what's that game they play with what's his name, with the actor, that's 6 Degrees. Southern Lord then put out this album many years later. So it's kind of all came around.
They didn't put out Oh Martha. They put out the record that the band did after we left, and Tom.
Oh, I thought they put out Oh Martha.
They put out
The Curse of Martha Splatterhead. Was that?
Yeah, they put out that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great show with the Brotherhood, the Accused. I really like that show, and I love that False Liberty 7-inch. I even got their demo back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you guys played shows with them.
We did, yeah. And you know what? They started out straight edge. I think only one of the guys is still straight edge. The singer Ron Gardape, he passed away a few years ago. The singer for Brotherhood. But yeah, I think only the drummer. I think he's the only guy that's still straight edge now.
I think we lost Ray.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see if we can get him back. He was having issues, but
you take a turn, Francisco.
Yeah. Speaking of covers, I mean, to me, I've always said this: there's no other band that did cover songs like the Accused. It always sounds like an Accused song, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, you could fool somebody into think, yeah, that's an original Accused song if they didn't know any better. It's amazing. I mean, I was like, it's like I don't know. I always thought that the way you guys did cover songs and still do, it's like God damn, how you always put your flavor on it. It's amazing. So my number 7 is, speaking of funny intros, is the song "Emma's" for Martha, which I think you guys got it locked off of Sesame Street or something like that. Yeah. And that intro just always killed me. It was like, it's just too much, because then after that intro, it was like, wow. It's just that change is like from something so soft and just pounding drums and the bass. It was like, and the lyrics to that always stuck with me. I always liked, I guess, the way they were printed out, how like silly details like that I noticed about how all the words in M were like capitalized and on the lyric sheets and stuff like that. Just odd stuff that like weirdos like me would notice, So but yeah, that song's amazing. And then "Scared of the Dark," I know we talked about that. I've already showed the record. That song is like
Vincent Price intro too.
Yeah, I mean, and then Blake's vocals obviously are amazing. And then who was it that did the middle part? Why don't you stay away?
That was a girlfriend of mine at that time.
Oh, she was your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Was
Oh,
it
okay.
the same girl that did the Jesus Loves the Little Children intro?
Same one.
That's
So you had her
awesome.
when she was a kid, she had a child, and when she was older.
Yep.
How many takes did she do? Did it take her to do that? Because that shit's amazing, man. It's like amazing.
Probably just one or two. I mean, I think we're I know back then for me, I was usually just like a one take.
Yeah.
One
Tight
take
as hell
guy.
too.
Pardon?
Very tight.
Yeah, well, you practice, So I mean, a lot of bands, they go into the studio and they don't really, it's kind of like they're still writing their songs when they go into the studio. We try to be as rehearsed as possible before we go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one, Bethany Home, which has like probably one of the heaviest like intros of any like a Q song ever. It's just that it's when the kid drums come in. I mean, come on, man. That's just amazing. Speaking of studio,
That song in Slow Death, those drums at the beginning of both those songs are just boom.
yeah. Did you was that already? I know you practice that a lot, but those screams on the tags, is that something you made up in the studio, or it was just already part of?
No, I did that in the studio.
You just came up with because it's like it's like the song would be totally different without those screams. To me, it seems it's like it just kicks into like fuck. Yeah, so
yeah. Well, that was the benefit of recording on a 24 track 2-inch tape. I'd get like 2 or 3 or 4 vocal tracks, and I'd use them.
Hell yeah, no, it's amazing. So all right, Jason, go ahead. I'll stop talking.
All right, so I guess from Grinning Like an Undertaker, of course, Voices. Such a great song, man. Probably one of my top 5 favorite Accused songs. Boris the Spider, greatest cover ever. Wes Weaver loved that cover. That's one of his favorite covers.
Yeah.
But one that not a lot. I don't see a lot of people say they like a lot. That is one of my favorites. Is When I Was a Child. I love that song. It's a great song.
Oh yeah, love that album.
I'm sure you've been asked this 100 times, but who came up with the Martha Splatterhead character?
I came up with the Martha Splatterhead character, and then probably Tom and I came up with the actual the imagery. The name Martha Splatterhead came from I used to do BB gun wars. Probably this is probably like in around 83, 84, right before I joined the Accused, and we all had nicknames as we were out in the woods shooting each other with BB guns. And one of the guys.
No whip ass paintballs for you guys.
That was before paintball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those days. We used to shoot each other with Roman candles.
Yeah.
Damn.
So one of the guys, his character was named Martha Splatterhead. So I guess I kind of I procured that from him.
Oh wow,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Cool. Anything else, Jason?
Well, I did. Now I don't know. I bought this record because I heard they had something to do with the Accused, and there were members in this band of the Accused, and I found out there weren't. Was there some connection with the Accused and Aspirin Feast?
No.
Huh.
No, we may have played with them once or twice, but no connection.
And then I wanted to throw in another honorable mention, like I did with the Farts.
Yeah.
This version of Machete Killa is a badass song, man. This song can hang with any favorite of my favorite Accused songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, the Toe Tag EP, yeah.
Yeah, the Machete Killa song.
Yeah.
And the album version's good too, but I really like this raw version off this 7-inch, which I think this is the first thing y'all ever released, isn't it?
Yep. That's the first thing we did. Yeah. We recorded that live here in the basement of my house. Huh. And the guy that recorded it is a guy by the name of Chris Hanzik. And he's actually the guy that recorded the first Accused EP that we did when I was in the band. The Martha Splatterhead EP.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So everything kind of went full circle with that.
Oh, that's why it sounds so much like the old Accused.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
the only Accused record I don't have. The EP. I mean, I got a
You
buddy
have
of
the
mine that has.
rejectors. You have the rejector
No.
split.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I don't have that. I'm talking the like the ones with Blaine.
Oh,
The
right, right.
Martha Splatterhead.
EP. Yeah.
5-song EP. That's the only one I don't have. But
I don't have that one either.
yeah, I kind of wish
I,
it did. Obviously, but
now
someday I'll get it.
we can't let
Uh,
you we can't let you go without the obligatory Duff McKagan question. And was he a big douche back then?
He
Come
was,
on, Jason.
he was just a guy.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was in a bunch of bands, and that's yeah.
But he came after the 7-inch, right? He was after World Full of Hate in the 7-inch, wasn't he, or was he before?
He actually he played in the Farts, all of that. I've had a chance to talk about this subject quite a bit recently with people because I put out a 10-minute warning record, and there's somebody else that put out this 10-minute warning record, and then they've just released another a 7-inch from a band that Duff was in, a band called The Living, and of course, I'm being, since I do everything on the do it yourself wavelength, I don't get the stroke and the press, and I don't get to move the units like these other guys do. But he joined the Farts in maybe, like, let's say the middle of October 1982.
Mm-hmm.
We were already working on new material. We recorded a 5-song demo with him on drums, and that was around the second week of November of 1982. We released those songs on a cassette, and the songs went on a bunch of different compilations, and then we changed the name of the band to 10-Minute Warning. And he was still playing drums, and then our bass player, founder of the Farts, Steve Hoffman, aka Steve Fart, may he rest in peace. He quit the band, and we continued on as 10-Minute Warning. Duff moved to second guitar, and the fellow by the name of Greg Gilmore started playing drums. Fellow by the name of David Griggs played bass, and then Paul Soldier was the lead guitar player. And I did that with them for a couple of months, and then they booted me out of the band. So I mean, I don't, I barely knew the guy. My interactions with him were, really in the big scheme
minimal.
Yeah, pretty minimal. But he was one of those guys that was I don't know that he would necessarily would you call him a prodigy, but he was well versed. He could play drums, he could play guitar, he could play bass, and he had that. Some guys just have that natural talent, and that's what he had. Yeah.
Right.
I think the only time he was a douche is, I think there was, a point in time when I think Guns N' Roses were, they'd broken up or they were in a hiatus or whatever. And the band 10-Minute Warning got back together, and they played a show. And my wife and I went down there to see the show. I thought, well, this is weird. 10-Minute Warning's playing again. And then I talked to one of the guys. I go, well, who else playing? He goes, well, who do you think? It's like, well, fuck, man, I don't know. And he had he wanted me to sing a song on one of his on a solo record that he was working on at that point in time. And I said, fuck yeah, that'd be really cool. So he gave me his phone number on a pack of matches, because people used to carry around matches back then. And he gave me his phone number and his fax number. Motherfucker never called me back. So you know what I did? I sold that pack of matches on eBay. So I don't know. There's some gal out there that's got Duff's autograph and his phone number and his fax number from.
That's great.
Whenever that was, you can't even remember what year that was.
That's fucking great.
89 or something like that. Yeah.
I'm sure we're probably getting close to our 40 minutes, Francisco. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So man, I just want to tell you, man, I've enjoyed the music. I really appreciate the extra things you guys put in there. You know, you spent all that money on the S. Clay Wilson album cover. You always use really good producers. I mean, Jack and Dino and Terry Dade and other fantastic people. You rehearse. You know, you play tight. All your albums are great. I mean, there's some I don't like as much as others. Splatter Rock was probably my least favorite one. I still like it though, right? It's still a good
Yeah.
album. It's definitely not a Grave New World or a Speak Your Piece. You know,
Yeah.
it's still a damn good album. So man, I mean, I got to see you guys play one time, and
And
I did an
I've
interview with you
right.
on
I've
my
corresponded
radio
with
show.
you in the past, right?
Yeah. Well, I put Toe Tag on a compilation I put out called Something You Don't Need. That also Francisco's band was also on HRA.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I sent you some copies. You probably sold them or gave them to somebody. I sent you a bunch of copies. Hoping I told you to give them away.
Yeah.
But I know you sent me a bunch of free stuff whenever I ordered anything from you. So you probably sent those out to people, and that's really awesome if you did.
Man, that's what you got to do. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, if I was 23 years ago, and you know, an extra $5 in my pocket made a difference. You know, it's like, but now it's, you know, if I got the stuff, I'm sending it out. You know, if people want it, you know. Right.
Oh, yeah.
These days, I just need to have the postage covered, you know, because postage is so fucking expensive.
Oh, postage is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Just to go over a few other songs. Tapping the Vein off of Gritting Like an Undertaker is another one of the just songs that make me want to just run through a wall.
Yeah.
Of course, Wrong Side of the Grave, of course, that's a classic that's been covered many times over. And, you know, rightly so.
I know Benediction did it. I forgot who else.
Well, one of my bands covered it live several times too. So, Pounding Nails, it's another great opening song. That song when you start singing "A Bright Light Leads You to Heaven," I mean, I still get like, you know, the hair on my arm still stand up whenever I hear that part.
That shit'll make you drive fast.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're in your car, you can't drive. You don't play "We Can All Live Together" when you're driving. You'll get.
But I think the song that probably makes me, well, I could probably run through like 3 walls and starve to death. Something about that song, just the way the vocals on that song come in, it's like,
oh, when he does that, that part, man, that is so badass.
Yeah, so that song is just like that's probably the one song that is just like it's insane. And I do want to mention that song, the LP Martha, which you brought up, was a great kind of, I don't want to call it a comeback, but that album is fucking solid, man.
Yeah,
Songs like that video you made for National Embalming School is awesome. That song, the opening song, Martha Kills. It's just, I mean, it's a fucking great album, I think. Obviously, I haven't spent as much time as I had when the other ones growing up, right? And then the Accused AD, I got to mention the Accused AD album, which has some great songs like and the Devil Walks, I believe is the name of the song.
Yeah.
That one you made a video in Spanish, you say it, Juego Terminado.
Yes.
That's a damn good song.
I really like the Toe Tag song they redid that was on that Hide the Knives 10-inch. They redid one of those songs on that Accused AD album. I think it's Dead Blue Sky. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I had to mention that Accused AD because that's a solid album too. There's some really, really good songs on that too.
Are you guys working on any new Accused AD stuff?
We're working on new material. Yeah, we're recording with Jack and Dino.
Awesome.
In the middle of May. Are we going to release it as Accused AD or Toe Tag? I don't know. We'll probably release it as Toe Tag.
You just got a lot of shit for Accused AD, right?
Yeah. You know, we did it as the Accused AD because you know that at that point in time we had learned that More Fun Than an Open Casket Funeral record. We learned that from front to back. And that's what we were playing live as for the 30th I think it was the
Wow.
30th anniversary of the release of that record. So that's, one of the reasons why we went on to call ourselves the Accused AD.
Yeah.
Whatever. That pissed some people off, but whatever, it's like you say, we practice, we write material.
Yeah.
It's like my friend Alex says, can implies capability, and this is what we do. We practice. This COVID stuff, we've never stopped. A couple of years ago, Alex almost cut his finger off. He's we're practicing 2 days after. He's got his pick taped to his finger.
And I mean, you're a busy business owner too, I'm sure.
Not as much now as I was in the past. Over the past 2
COVID
years,
probably
I'm just,
knocked you down
yeah,
some.
I'm kind of like just I have the owner role. I do shopping for the restaurant, a little bit of paperwork, and a little bit of maintenance. But we've got a guy up there that's our general manager that that treats us really, really well, and he makes sure everything is handled the way that it needs to be handled.
Are you there now?
No,
Are you
I'm
there?
at home now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought I saw like a menu or something up above there or something.
No,
Like
we're in
somewhere. It was kind of blurry,
no.
but yeah.
You see my bourbon.
Oh,
my
yeah,
bourbon.
there we go. But so for those that don't know, how many do you have? Just the one Zippy's location, or are there two
There
of them?
used to be two, I know.
Yeah, we had two, but I got, I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm a good person to work for, and I get easily taken advantage of. And we had the second location, and I was just being, people were I had a couple of people that were, that had my back, but then a lot of people were there was just too much bullshit. And I'm also an emotional cancer, so I just couldn't. I just couldn't. It wasn't worth the emotional.
Right.
It kind of overwhelming, probably.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, I know you went to open that second store right after Seattle raised the minimum wage to $15. That had to be hard. I remember you were kind of worried about it.
We've always paid our people more. I mean, we were already paying people $15 an hour already.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of one of the problems when they raise the minimum wage is then it means like for people like us that we're already treating people well. We always paid people for holidays. If it snows, we still pay people. If your fucking grandma dies or something, you gotta fly home for a couple of 3 days. We're still gonna pay you. So there was a lot of stuff that there was a lot of stuff that we already did. But then when they force you to pay a higher hourly wage, you can't do a lot of that stuff that you used to be able to do. And and there's so much more to running a business that people don't understand. There's not, it's for us, if we get on a good year, our profit is maybe somewhere between 6 and 8%. You do it. Luckily for us, this is our on May 1st, it's going to be 13 years since we've been in operation. And we opened the business kind of like when this whole social media shit, really kind of started happening. That's, MySpace was still the thing. So we kind of opened like right when that kind of stuff started. So, we were something special, and we're still at it.
I've always wanted to come see your joint. I know you have a lot of like classic restaurant memorabilia and stuff in it.
Yeah. We got a big collection of hamburger memorabilia from around the United States.
Awesome. I guess I'll start wrapping it up, but first of all, I just want to Jason, thanks for doing this with me, and especially you, Blaine. Like I said, been a massive fan. Still follow everything you do from toe tag and the Accused AD. So it's an honor to have you here, a pleasure to have you here, and I know Jason feels the same way. So again, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
and thanks for everybody for watching. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy this as much as I do. So.
And
you
if you
very
haven't
much.
heard The Accused, go buy something.
Go check them out. Yeah.
Yeah, go check them out.
Don't illegally download shit. Go fucking buy something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.